Andrew Jackson Beard was a farmer, carpenter, blacksmith, railroad worker, businessman, and finally an inventor. While working in the railroad yards, Beard suffered a serious accident when he was crushed between two cars while linking them. He lost a leg in the process. Car coupling was an extremely dangerous procedure, involving split-second timing to drop a metal pin into place at the precise moment the cars pulled in together. Many railroad men lost their lives and limbs during this operation. This fueled Beard's resolve and imagination to create a device that linked cars automatically. On November 23, 1897, he obtained a patent for his railroad car coupler, the Jenny coupler. In that same year, he sold his patent rights to a New York firm for $50,000, which was a substantial sum at the time. The device, improved in 1899, was the precursor of today's linking mechanism. At the age of 16, Rose Agnes Rolls Cousins was the first black woman to become a solo pilot in the civilian pilot training program at West Virginia State College. Cousins enrolled in Tuskegee Institute's flight program in 1941 with the first group of 10 male students from West Virginia State College to try out for the Air Force training program for black combat pilots. She was rejected because of her gender. Though she found little opportunity to use her flying skills, Rose Cousins is remembered for her courage and determination put into becoming a pilot. Elijah McCoy was an African-American mechanical engineer who eventually landed a job at the Michigan Central Railroad as a trained fireman and oilman. While on the job, he saw a problem concerning the need for the train to stop periodically to lubricate its steam engine and moving parts to prevent overheating. His invention, the self-regulating lubricator, resolved the problem by using the steam pressure in the cylinders to automatically pump oil to the engines when it is needed, even while the train was in motion. This also prevented the corrosion of metal cylinders and pistons by the hot, high-pressure steam. The success of this invention revolutionized the transportation and manufacturing industry from 1850 to 1930. Improved versions of his invention were used not just for steam trains, but also for steam engines in factories, mines, ships, and construction equipment. The term Real McCoy became popular because when machinists and engineers wanted to buy his genuine lubricators, they said they wanted the Real McCoy, or real thing. Frederick Jones was born in Ohio in 1893. After a challenging childhood, he taught himself mechanical and electrical engineering, inventing a range of devices relating to refrigeration, sound, and automobiles. Portable refrigeration units developed by Jones helped the United States military carry food and blood during World War II. Over the course of his career, Jones received more than 60 patents. While the majority pertained to refrigeration technologies, others related to X-ray machines, engines, and sound equipment. Granville T. Woods showed an interest in mechanics at an early age. As a young man, Woods worked as a railroad worker and engineer, and began thinking up ideas to improve the industry. Woods' most notable invention was for a type of communication called the induction telegraph system. The system allowed moving trains to communicate, helping them avoid collisions and dangers on the tracks. It also helped dispatchers locate trains. Woods held nearly 60 patents throughout his life. Many of these inventions were of electric railways. The third rail, which uses electricity to pull trains forward, was one of his inventions and is widely used today. Woods also improved the automatic air brake used by railroad cars. Many of the world's most famous inventors only produced one major invention that garnered recognition and cemented their prominent status. But Garrett Augustus Morgan, one of the country's most successful African-American inventors, created two: the gas mask and the traffic signal. He received a patent for the first gas mask invention in 1914, but it wasn't until 2 years later that the idea really took off. When a group of workers got stuck in a tunnel below Lake Erie after an explosion, Morgan and a team of men donned the masks to help get them out. After the rescue was a success, requests for the masks began pouring in. Similarly, Garrett Morgan's other famous invention, the traffic signal, was also invented to help save lives. After witnessing an accident on a roadway, Morgan decided a device was needed to keep cars, buggies, and pedestrians from colliding. His traffic signal was designed to stand on a street corner and notify vehicles and walkers whether they should stop or go. After receiving a patent in 1923, the rights to the invention were eventually purchased by General Electric. When Meredith Gourdin's father told him an education could spare him from a life of manual labor, he changed the course of his son's life. After graduating from Cornell and opening his own research laboratory, Gourdin went on to develop an exhaust purification system for cars in 1967. His invention is now referred to as the catalytic converter, and it helps to reduce harmful emissions into the environment, minimizing the pollution caused by our vehicles. In 1983, Carmen E. Turner made history as the first African-American woman to lead a major transit agency when she became general manager of the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, WMATA. Her appointment to this position also reflected the overall strides being made by women at the time when it came to assuming key leadership roles in U.S. transportation. She found herself running one of the nation's largest transit systems. Turner earned widespread praise for her management of WMATA during a crucial time for the relatively young agency. Her accomplishments included overseeing a 40% expansion of the agency's Metro Rail service from 42 miles and 47 stations to 73 miles and 63 stations. Daily ridership likewise mushroomed in size. In 1839, Elbert Robinson, a resident of Nashville, Tennessee, received a patent for improvements in trolleys for electric railways. His invention focused primarily on the trolley wheels, implementing a new design to secure wheels to the wire when the trolley rounded curves or went down hills. Rosa Parks, named the mother of the modern-day civil rights movement, was an African-American woman born in Tuskegee, Alabama in 1913. She is most well known for her stand against racial segregation on public buses in Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa refused to give up her seat for a white man and was arrested, charged with and convicted of civil disobedience. Rosa spent most of her life fighting for desegregation, voting rights, and was active in the civil rights movement that has shaped social code in the United States. In the days of Charles Brooks, the main method of transportation resulted in piles of horse manure along the street. As you can imagine, it was not a pleasant-smelling situation. While the horse-drawn street sweeper had already been invented, Brooks wanted to improve upon it. His design utilized a truck-like frame with revolving brushes that pushed waste into a bin, and he received a patent for his invention in 1896. African-American inventors have made huge contributions to the world of yesterday and today. We should never forget those courageous pioneers who pressed on with their dreams during very difficult times. These creative inventors were determined to succeed against all odds. Each of them has made their aspirations a reality by contributing to the industrial, social, and economic progress of this great nation.